Oh, my brothers and sisters, do I have some content for you today? This has everything. It's got treachery, it's got gun control, it's got international courts. We are going to dive into this Mexico lawsuit because it just got a wrinkle. This got really interesting in the First Circuit, and that's what we're going to break down for you right now. Everything will be linked in the description box below, and I can't wait to hear what you guys think about this one. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn that notification bell on. We're having a little bit of an issue with subscribers being unsubscribed, so make sure you check that button and make sure that subscription is fully on, just in case that algorithm made an honest mistake. All right, my brothers and sisters, let's get into this. We have got to talk about some stuff. Again, this is interesting because there's been a development in the Mexican lawsuit against gun companies here in the United States. This is something that I honestly didn't see coming, but it's interesting when you look at everything that we cover from a day in, day out perspective. Something that we covered last year is coming up and showing its ugly head. Check this out. This occurred in October of last year, and then I'm going to show you how it ties into today. Why a top official at a top gun control group left to become an agent of Mexico. Lobbying registrations reveal a new front in the gun policy advocacy wars. Well, we covered this in October 17th, 2022 to be specific. Check this out. This is why we cover everything in detail. Former top lawyers at the gun control advocacy organization Brady have formed a new gun policy venture, and they're registering as foreign agents of the Mexican government as part of it. The new advocacy group, Global Action on Gun Violence, remember that name, aims to address cross-border gun trafficking from the U.S. according to filings with the Department of Justice. The group, which is not yet formally launched, intends to represent foreign governments or others rallying against the gun industry in lobbying and litigation. It is led, remember this name, by Jonathan Lowy, a former chief counsel at Brady who directed the organization's legal arm for years. Jonathan Lowy, Global Action on Gun Violence, tied directly to the Brady Foundation. All right? Now let's dive into what just happened in the First Circuit Court yesterday. Mexico's gun manufacturer argument probed by the First Circuit. Now listen to what they said because this is where the bombshell stuff lies. And like I said, if this is not treason, I really don't know what is. The First Circuit appeared open to Mexico's argument Monday that gun makers knowingly manufacture and sell weapons that can be easily modified south of the border by criminal cartels for automatic fire, but were skeptical manufacturers could be held liable. So that statement alone is concerning, but listen until you hear the argument, or wait until you hear the arguments. This is insane. So the First Circuit appeared open to say that the gun manufacturers were liable because their machines can be created into machine guns later on. So their Second Amendment semi-automatic firearms can be converted into machine guns by criminal organizations, and therefore it's the gun company's fault. This is insane. This is akin to driving a vehicle across the border, which automatically stays within 0 to 100 miles an hour. But then when the cartels get in control of it, it can be ramped up and added nitrous oxide to it, NOS for short, on the street. And then it can go up to 200. And then the car manufacturers are held liable. This makes no sense whatsoever. But let's keep going because remember that name, Jonathan Lowy? Yeah, wait for it. Mexico alleges that firearm giants, including Smith & Wesson Brands Incorporated and Glock Incorporated, unlawfully designed their weapons to attract cartels, exacerbating gun violence in the country. Its novel lawsuit argues that the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act, which protects gun makers from an array of lawsuits, shouldn't apply for claims rooted in foreign law. So they're trying to get around the PLCAA by having the Mexican government doing it, led by a United States gun control organization. Yeah, wait for it. In the U.S. Court of Appeals for the First Circuit sides with Mexico, it could open the door for more litigation from other countries against American gun makers. Remember that name I told you about? Yeah, here we go. Quote, if you violate federal gun laws, you do not get protected by the liability shield, said Jonathan Lowy, president of Global Action on Gun Violence, who represents Mexico. Remember that first clip I showed you? Jonathan Lowy, the same guy who who was the general counsel for Brady, who registered as a foreign agent in Mexico against gun companies here in the United States with a new foundation called Global Action on Gun Violence, directly tied to Brady. Does this sound like it's trying to common sense gun control or just gun control? This is seriously nefarious. Okay. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I'm out of my league. Maybe I'm crazy. Well, let's go to the next clip. Judge William Kayada asked Lowy, same guy, quote, "What then is the cause of action that would involve the manufacturer knowingly violating the law?" Lowy responded that the cause of action is the manufacturer's allegedly aiding and abetting unlicensed weapons, as well as allegedly designing semi-automatic weapons that can be easily modified to shoot automatically. So now he's accusing the gun manufacturers of aiding and abetting unlicensed sellers, which is zero proof at all. And then he's also saying they broke federal law because the guns can easily be they're designed to easily be upgraded into machine guns. This is really bordering on slander. I mean, like, legitimately, this is getting pretty close. Those are the accusations. You're telling me that the intent behind a semi-automatic design is to basically let it permeate the entire United States and other surrounding countries, all for the purpose that it can be easily converted into a machine gun to aid and abet unlicensed sellers. There should be a countersuit to sue this organization out of existence. But anyway, let's keep going because there's actually some common sense stuff coming from the other side of the argument. Quote, "If it was not originally designed as a machine gun, it's not a machine gun," said Noel Francisco, a partner at Jones Day representing the manufacturers. Francisco served as U.S. Solicitor General in the Trump administration. At least he's qualified. But let's go back to Lowy, because I love me some gun controller. Quote, "I don't think any court has held that there is some Second Amendment right to negligently or illegally hold and make guns," Lowy said. Prove it. I'm going to hold back the immediate thought I have for this individual, just because, let's be nice. But genuinely, if this is not treasonous, I don't really know what is. Just to recap this fully, we have someone who's in charge of the entire legal arm as the general counsel of Brady.org. This is the organization that funds gun control in the United States, one of the top gun control firms, breaking off and forming a separate organization called, what is that name? It doesn't stick. Global Action on Gun Violence, and then registering as a foreign agent for the state of Mexico with the Department of Justice to go after United States manufacturing of firearms in order to get around the PLCAA. The entire thing is about destroying gun manufacturers because the PLCAA is in the way, so now they got to go from Mexico in. Let me know what you guys think in the comments field below. That's what I've got for you guys, and let me know what you think, and I will see you there.